Okay, let's talk about Burj Khalifa since you brought it up. Do you think there's a place for buildings like those where it's more of an iconic structure or iconism in contemporary architecture? Do you think that building, which not necessarily doesn't represent the identity of a city or a country, but it's an announcement of an ambition, like we discussed earlier, do you think that has a place?
Um, yes, it does have a place. It has a place, and I mean, it really depends on the kind of the purpose of it, right? Like the purpose of Burj Khalifa, in some sense, is to put Dubai on the map,
But
and that it
that
does.
it does.
That it does. Does every building have to be a Burj Khalifa? That's a different question. I mean, does every building need to have like this kind of iconic angle to it?
That doesn't fit a narrative
Yeah.
necessarily.
I mean, or the question is, how many Burj Khalifas can you have? That I think is a more difficult question.
They're making a second one now.
Yeah, they're making a second one. Yes, but it's also interesting to think about why they're doing it, why they did it in the first place, and why they want to do it again.
Why? Why on both situations?
I think in a part of the world that has a lot of resource, um, like if you think of the big cities around us, Abu Dhabi, Doha, Kuwait, all of them have a lot of resource, natural resource, or any of the big cities in Saudi. They all have a lot of natural resource. And Dubai is in that kind of neighborhood of cities with a lot of natural resource, with, in some sense, quite limited resource. Uh, I mean, limited resource in the sense that limited gas reserves or oil reserves or whatever, like that. So there is a need for the city of Dubai to constantly kind of attract investment and to keep promoting itself as a place where things are happening. You know, so for to that extent, all the even earlier when I spoke about the phases of development, the moment that Dubai started building these big projects like Burj Al Arab and Emirates Towers, that was the intention, to really announce to the world that Dubai is here. We're we're doing we're doing well. We're doing business. We're doing well, and it's a good place for you to invest because look, we are really growing. You know, so in that sense, architecture really um, is a way of promoting the city. Is almost like a marketing tool, you know, for the city. Um, so in that in that same line of thinking, the Burj Khalifa was supposed to be the kind of ultimate. You know, like to build the biggest building in the world meant that like we are seriously, you know, big or
Now,
seriously into business.
now the
And
reason behind the Creek Tower that they're building.
so what happened at the time of the completion of Burj Khalifa, we all know it was also the time of the global kind of financial crisis. So we all saw, or the whole world saw, that Burj Khalifa really kind of struggled at the end to
Finish it off.
get there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so there was this idea that maybe okay, or there could have been doubts in 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 uh, in the kind of investment circles that okay, Dubai did it, but can it do? Is it still relevant? You know, so the idea of the second tower and the idea of the expo and all that comes in my mind from that need to kind of um, to prove that oh no,
It wasn't a one-time.
it wasn't a one-time thing. It's something that as a city we can invest, we can develop, we can kind of outdo what we've already done. So in that sense, yes. But if you see the two towers, okay, the second tower is supposed to be the tallest structure in the world, but if you think about it, it is also a lot more practical. In the sense, it's really just a monument. It's
Yeah.
really like the Eiffel Tower, you know,
Yes.
in the sense that it's just a lookout tower.
The
So
CN Tower.
yes,
Yeah.
so it's more of an observatory. So it doesn't have the kind of investment that a Burj Khalifa would have, but it would have as much an impact on the overall perception of the city. Of course, I don't know what's happening with that project because it seems to be on hold now. Yeah. So, do I think it's a good idea? I'm not sure, but that is the approach that the city has constantly taken, to kind of define itself by creating iconic structures.